In 2013, Aquatic Wet Line made its debut as an aquarium hobbyist podcast. It was hosted by Aqua Alex Cardinale, an aquarium hobbyist with a passion for tropical fish since the age of 12.
Aquatic Wet Line was very successful because Aqua Alex shared his love and passion for fish keeping like only he could. You could hear the love of fish and passion for caring and educating about the fish in his voice. It attracted new hobbyists and even experienced hobbyists to tune in.
Aquatic Wet Line went on hiatus for a couple of years. Now Aqua Alex has brought it back, this time right here on YouTube. Aqua Alex will host new episodes of Aquatic Wet Line Fish Keeping Podcast, but it will be in video format and you may get to see some of Aqua Alex's personal fish.
Aqua Alex will discuss everything aquarium related from fresh to salt. What aquarium topic is in the aquarium for discussion tonight? Let's find out. Fish keepers, if you enjoy the show, please share the YouTube video URL on your social media. Now here is Aqua Alex.
Hello, tropical fish keepers! Welcome to Ask Aqua Alex Live, right here on Aquatic Wetline on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Welcome to the October 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A. This month's edition of Fish Keepers Q&A is going to be Halloween themed because October is Halloween and Halloween is this coming Monday. So we're going to have a fun fish keeping Q&A coming your way. I hope all my fish keeping viewers out there had a great week or having a good week currently, and I hope your fish are doing great. I hope you got some new fish as well. So today, I actually picked up a couple of new fish for my community aquarium behind me. I got 2 new angelfish to replace the panda angels. I woke up one morning and I found them deceased, unfortunately. But I got 2 new larger angels for my 75-gallon community aquarium. And I also picked up a very large yo-yo loach. So I am very excited to keep yo-yo loach along with my clown loaches and my red tail botilla loaches. Anyway, I have a fun and exciting Fish Keepers Q&A coming your way today. So, if you have any tropical fish keeping questions you want me to answer, simply post them in the comments below and I will answer them. They could be freshwater or saltwater aquarium questions. Just make sure they're related to the aquarium hobby and I will gladly answer your questions. I've been in the aquarium hobby since I was 12 years old, so I know about pretty much a lot of species. But if I don't know about that species, I will give you the best answer that I can. So, great show coming your way tonight. On top of answering your questions, I have a couple of topics. Since Halloween is spooky and spooky equals monsters, I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite monster fish as one of my topics. And I'm also going to talk about why water changes are really important. And then I'm going to do my fish keeper show off, where I'm going to show off my 75-gallon community aquarium. And I'm going to show off some of my friend Daryl's amazing fish. And we're going to conclude the show with the online fish store stock list for tangledupandcichlids.com and wet spot tropical fish. So with that, let's go ahead and get the show started. Now, for those of you who don't know, my community aquarium was once a 55-gallon aquarium, but later in September, I upgraded them to a 75-gallon aquarium, and that is the aquarium that I am broadcasting in front of right now. So let's get this Q&A started, and we're going to get started the way I love getting my Q&A started, and that is with this wonderful segment. All right, it's time for my first segment here, and that is Aqua Alex Asks You. I'm going to ask you some questions that you can answer. So here are my questions for this month's show. Question number 1. What are your favorite monster fish species? Question 2. What treats will you give your fish for Halloween? And question 3. What is your favorite piranha species? When people think of spooky freshwater fish, piranha is the first to come to mind because of all the hype and all the fear that the movies created for piranhas. Piranhas are a cool fish, but they're certainly not a fish that's going to kill you or cause harm to you. So post your answers to my questions in the comments, and also post any questions you want me to answer in the comments below, and I will definitely do my best to answer them. So whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay of this video, it doesn't matter. I will still see your answers and your questions. So I'm going to begin by answering the questions that I am asking you. What are my favorite monster fish species? Well, later on in the show, I'm going to name 10 of my favorite monster fish species. But for now, some of my favorite monster fish species would be freshwater stingrays, datnoids, Lipterus bikers, gars, oscars, and larger growing cichlids like Dovi and Fieste, Red Terrors, Pacu. So those are some examples of my favorite monster fish species. And like I said, later on in the show, I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite monster fish. Now, what treats will I give my fish for Halloween? Well, my community aquarium is going to get frozen bloodworms from Hikari and frozen Myesis shrimp by Hikari, and also frozen brine shrimp. It is of my opinion that Hikari is one of the greatest frozen food companies out there for tropical fish food. My predatory tank is most likely going to get live earthworms, live ghost shrimp, and some crawfish for a special Halloween treat. Now, Halloween, Easter, Valentine's Day, I know it has nothing to do with tropical fish, but I like to give my fish treats on those days as a way to show my gratitude of keeping them. And I think it's really fun to do. And my favorite piranha species. I've got a couple of favorite piranhas. First up would be the Pygocentris caribe, or the black ear red belly piranha. That is a piranha that I've kept in the past and I really enjoy keeping. They grow a little bit larger than the red belly piranha, and they're also more aggressive than the red belly piranha. The Manueli piranha is another favorite of mine. That is my favorite Cerasomas piranha. Very, very cool piranha. And also, I like the black rhombus piranha. And did you guys know that silver dollars and pacus are technically piranhas? I like the black bar silver dollar, the red hook silver dollar, and the Mylosoma silver dollar. So those are my answers to my questions. You can post your answers in the comments, and you can ask me any questions you like. So now I'm going to begin answering some questions that were submitted to me electronically via email. And my friend Wiz sent me a great question. So here is the question that Wiz has sent me. I'm going to read it verbatim for you. What's up, Legendary? I just picked up a flagtail Procholotus. I have had it for about 2 weeks now. She is between 2.5 to 3 inches long. Water parameters are good. Water is changed every 7 to 10 days. She gets fed Sierra spirulina tabs and algae wafers. She seems like she grazes around the tank more than eating the food I provide. I have even soaked food in garlic from time to time. She looks very healthy and active. My question is, when will her caudal dorsal fins get that red or yellow color? Right now, her caudal fins is a blackish gray, no real color. My previous blacktails had a red caudal fin at this size. Do you think the color will come in later, or is this another type of flagtail? Thanks, Aqua Alex. Looking forward to your reply. And here is the image that Wiz sent. So let's go ahead and see it so I can identify whether it's a true flagtail or not. It's up on the screen. And judging from that image, that does indeed look like a true flagtail Procholotus. So I would not worry about it not being a flagtail Procholotus, Wiz. It definitely is a flagtail Procholotus, and it's a very beautiful one as well. Now, I have kept several flagtail Procholotus over the years. They are certainly an intriguing cherison to keep. Now, when they are new to an aquarium, it takes them a little while to adjust to their new environment. So I would not fret so much right now. As long as it's grazing on algae and something in your aquarium, I wouldn't worry. But keep providing food to your flagtail Procholotus. Spirulina is a great diet for them, but you could also offer pellets and flakes, etc. Once it gets adjusted to your aquarium, it will eat pretty much anything. Now, I have found that juvenile flagtails can be a little bit dull in color, but as they mature, they will get more color. So don't worry about it being dull in color right now. It will grow up to be a beautiful looking flagtail. So thank you very much, Wiz, for your awesome first question. I had a blast answering it. And you know, flagtails are one of my favorite cherisons of all time. And I last month just picked up a flagtail Procholotus for my community aquarium, which you'll see later on in the broadcast. All right, I'm going to move on to some other questions that were emailed to me. And these are pretty good questions, so I look forward to answering them. Now, the first question is actually when I first saw it, I thought it was a negative question and I was really upset about it. But the more I thought about it, this is a great question for me to answer and explain what is going on, and then maybe offer some explanations to you. So the person wants to know, why are your fish tanks always cloudy? So he wants to know why my fish tanks are always cloudy. Mainly, it is my 125-gallon aquarium that is cloudy. It is my 6-foot monster aquarium that houses large growing fish like my Oscar, my wolffish, and the other fish that I have in there. So I myself have been trying to figure out why that tank is constantly cloudy. I could not for the life of me figure out what was wrong. So I called my friend Daryl and I was like, can you come over and clean my Fluval FX4 canister filter? And he gracefully did, and I'm very thankful that he did that. My water is much clearer now in the 125, but it is not 100% clear. So I ruled out that the canister filter being dirty was the culprit of my 125 not being clear. So then I looked at what I was feeding my fish, and I was feeding them raw tilapia, raw market shrimp, earthworms, and pellets. And I figured out that when I was throwing in excess pellets and the pellets that the fish did not eat stayed in the aquarium, it dirtied the water. So now I am working on putting less food in. That way, there's no excess ammonia or nitrates from the food. So the 125 is always cloudy, in my opinion, because I put too much food in there and it's kind of heavily stocked. But once I do less feedings and more frequent water changes, I don't think my 125 will be as cloudy as it's been over the last few months. Now you're going to see in the video that I show later on, my 75 gallon is 100% clear. It's absolutely crystal clear. And I'm going to do a video on this tank later on and show it to you sometime this week. So I hope that answered your question. And I can't wait to show my 125 when it is crystal clear, just like the 75 gallon community aquarium behind me. All right. This next question is a controversial question because some of the fish that I'm going to talk about are well liked. But this person wants to know, Aqua Alex, you've been keeping fish since you were 12 years old. In your honest opinion, what are fish species that you think don't belong in the aquarium hobby? You know, I have to think long and hard about this question because there's a lot of fish in the aquarium hobby that I feel belong in the wild. And I'll start with some of the monsters. First up, Arapaima. They have no place in the aquarium hobby. They are one of the largest freshwater fish, not only in South America, but in the entire world. I don't know why they are imported in the aquarium hobby. Nobody has a 10,000-gallon pond or a really massive aquarium to take care of Arapaima. They belong in the wild. That is one fish that does not belong in the aquarium hobby, and I can never condone anyone keeping a Arapaima unless they've got a backyard river or a backyard pond large enough to care for Arapaima. Another fish that I think doesn't belong in the aquarium hobby as much as I love this fish, and I'm personally guilty of keeping them in the past, is the red tail catfish and the red belly pacu and iridescent sharks. Those guys are monsters, they're tank busters, but they're more easier to keep than the Arapaima. You can keep them in a 500 gallon, 1,000 gallon, etc., but not many people have aquariums that size. So apart from the monster fish, there are other fish species that I feel don't belong in the aquarium hobby. And again, it is just my personal opinion, and that is hybridized fish. I myself am not a fan of blood parrots or flower horns. Now, there was a time in my aquarium hobby that I did keep blood parrots and I did keep flower horns, and I kept thinking to myself, my God, this is an abomination. How can I support this? I don't want these things in my aquarium anymore. They're not natural. You cannot find them in the wild. I found myself saying that to me as a fish keeper. So, in my humble opinion, I think we should have all natural fish species in the aquarium hobby because the blood parrots and flower horns, for example, are a mixture of different species. So their organs are going to be totally different than a normal fish. And these hybridized fish are going to live short, miserable lives. And that's hard to see a fish suffer like that. I'm also against the balloon bodied fish, the short bodied fish, anything that causes deformity in a fish for profit. I am totally against. I don't like that in the aquarium hobby. So, in my humble opinion, the aquarium hobby should be full of natural fish that you can find in Africa, in Hawaii, South America, etc. That would be my answer to that question. And I know that's not going to be a popular answer with a lot of people, but I'm not concerned with being popular. I'm concerned with providing a answer to your question, and hopefully I gave you my humble, honest answer, and I hope you respect my answer. All right. So the next question that comes into me is a question I see a lot of on some of the cichlid groups that I'm on Facebook. And the question is, what is a good catfish for an African cichlid aquarium? The answer is Synodontis. There are plenty of Synodontis species out there. You've got your common featherfin Synodontis, which is the Synodontis Upterus, I think it's pronounced. And then there's the clown squeaker, which is my favorite of all the Synodontis. That is Synodontis decorus. That is a very gorgeous Synodontis as well. And then there are the cuckoo catfish, which is a really cool dwarf Synodontis. Synodontis petricola is one of those dwarf Synodontis that are really cool. They'll do great with African cichlids. And the reason I recommend Synodontis is because they come from Africa. However, you can also do spotted Raphaels, striped Raphaels, four-line Pictus, vulture cats. So there's a lot of aquarium catfish that are great for an African cichlid aquarium. The same person wants to know, are there any known catfish that live 100% pure saltwater? Yes, there actually is. There are catfish that do thrive and do live in saltwater and will die if they're ever placed in fresh water. One of the catfish that is known to live in pure saltwater, I think it's called the coral catfish. And they are available in the aquarium hobby if you do have a saltwater aquarium. The coral catfish is a large growing cat. It grows to about a foot long, so it would need a large saltwater aquarium. And it's a very unique, unorthodox catfish that looks pretty cool, in my opinion. I have a lot of love for the coral catfish. All right, so thank you guys that emailed those questions. I really enjoyed answering those questions. Anyone that is tuned in now, you can post any questions you have in the comments, and I will gladly answer your questions. So if you have questions, just post them in the comments, and I will gladly answer them. All right, so let's go to our first topic of the evening, and I'm going to talk about my favorite monster fish of all time. It is October, and what is October known for? Halloween and spookiness. So let's learn about my top 10 favorite monster fish of all time, and these are in no particular order. I love them all equally, and they're all favorite monsters of mine. So up first we have the silver arowana. Now the silver arowana is a cool South American monster fish that is known as the water monkey because it has the ability to leap out of the water to catch prey like insects, small rodents, etc. in South America. They can and will jump out of aquariums. Unfortunately, I had that happen with my most recent silver arowana, and I lost him. And I have yet to get another one, but maybe in the future I will. I was so attached to that silver arowana, and when he jumped out and I found him on the floor, I was devastated. But maybe I'll get one for the 125 eventually. Now, I love the silver arowana. I love that it grows to a monster size, but I love watching it eat. The silver arowana is a cool fish to feed, and it's an even better fish to watch eat because it has a long, bony tongue, and the way it grabs food is fascinating, in my opinion. There's also the black arowana, there's also the Jardini arowana, the Lachardi arowana, the African arowana, and of course the Asian arowana. But I love the South American arowanas, which are the silver and the black arowana. So really cool monster fish. My next favorite monster fish, perfect for Halloween, is known as the vampire tetra, and it's coming to suck your fish's blood. Just kidding. And that fish is the pariah. Now, pictured on the screen is a armatist pariah, which is the largest growing pariah you'll find. Now, pariahs can be hard to keep in the aquarium hobby. They're kind of sensitive, so they need pristine water quality, and you have to be careful what you put with them. You don't want anything bullying the pariah because it will stress it out. And also, you don't want to put small fish in there where the pariah will eat it. But they're a very cool fish. I don't have much experience keeping them. I did have one for a couple of months and then it disappeared. I assume it either got eaten by one of my larger predatory catfish last year or it had jumped out or something. But they're a very unique monster fish. Up next, freshwater wolffish, Hapalis. Now, it was about this time last year when I started showing interest in wolffish. 2 months later, in December of 2021, I got my first wolffish species. My first wolffish was a gold wolffish. And then 2 weeks later, I got a rainbow wolffish. And then a week later, I got my favorite wolffish, the black wolffish. Now, wolffish were always a dream species for me to keep. I always wanted to keep wolffish, and now I finally have them. My black wolffish and my gold wolffish are now over 10 months old, and they have tripled in size. I'm going to get an updated video for you before they turn 1 year old. But the wolffish are a very cool predatory fish. In my humble opinion, you can have tank mates with them because I have tank mates with mine. All three of my wolffish live together in the same aquarium with Oscar, Red Terror, Severums, Firemouth, Jack Dempsey's, and some other cool fish. I really enjoy the wolffish. Up next is the Oscar cichlid, perhaps one of the most popular monster fish available in the aquarium hobby. Oscars are friendly, Oscars are personable, Oscars are cute, and Oscars are like water puppies. They love to be fed and they will eat practically anything, including other fish that fit in its mouth. For some unknown reason, I have a soft spot in my heart for tiger Oscars and Oscars in general. I just do. I have a really big soft spot in my heart for Oscars. Now, back in April of this year, I traded a peacock bass for my current tiger Oscar named Bruno, and Bruno and I have a really good relationship. Bruno knows when it's feeding time, and he comes to the top of the aquarium so that he can get his tilapia, his shrimp, and his earthworms first, and then he allows the other fish to feed. But he prefers pellets more. He'll only take the shrimp, tilapia, and earthworms if I don't feed pellets first. So I kind of respect Bruno in that regard. He loves prepared food. But he's a gorgeous Oscar, and I've always had a love for Oscars since I was a little boy. Just ask my dad, he will tell you. I always had to get an Oscar when we went to the fish store if we never had one. If my dad had a big tank and we didn't have an Oscar, we had to get one. And he was glad to purchase Oscars. I think deep down he liked Oscars as much as I do. Now, my next favorite monster fish is a monster fish that my friend Daryl is currently keeping, and that is the red tail catfish. About a year ago, I had a red tail cat in the very tank behind me. It was a wild caught red tail from Peru, and I got him at 2 inches, and I grew him all the way out to about 14 inches before I rehomed him to a gentleman with a outdoor pond. Red-tail cats, very cool fish to keep. They will eat just about anything. They love to eat, and they will devour just about anything as well, which is something you have to be careful of when keeping them with tank mates. But their monster personality is their diet and their ferocious appetite. Up next is the tiger shovel-nose catfish, another favorite monster cat of mine. And I've talked about red tails and tiger shovel-nose cats all the time here on my show. I really have a love for these guys. Tiger shovel-nose stays significantly smaller than the red tail, about a foot smaller, but they're still a monster cat, and they share that ferocious appetite just like the red tail catfish. So my next favorite monster fish is a fish that lives right here in America, the United States of America, and it also lives in Cuba, and that is the gar. I love gars. It was also last year that I had my most recent gar, which was a Florida gar. Now, I have kept Florida gar, I have kept alligator gar, but I have never had the opportunity to keep a long nose gar. And if I were to get a gar for my 125-gallon aquarium, it would definitely be a long nose gar. I think a long nose gar would be a perfect addition to my predatory aquarium. I think gars would be an awesome addition along with wolffish because the wolffish has teeth and the gar has teeth. The only thing that draws me away from gars is that when they're new to an aquarium, they rely on live foods and live feeding, and that could be a drag. But I still have a soft spot in my heart for gars. How about the ripsaw catfish? A catfish that in South America can escape attack by piranhas with those sharp armor-like scales. It is called the ripsaw catfish for a reason, and that's because along the side of its body are sharp spines that are like a saw. And if a piranha tries to bite that, its teeth will get damaged. Ripsaw cats grow to about 3 feet, so they can be kept by aquarium hobbyists who have a monster aquarium. I currently have a ripsaw cat that I got last July. He's over a year old, and now he's pushing about 15 inches. So both my friend Daryl, my fish keeping friend, he has a monster red tail. I have an equally as big monster ripsaw cat in my 125-gallon aquarium. The only difference between a ripsaw and a red-tailed cat is that the ripsaw grows significantly slower than a red tail and is not as active as a red tail. Ripsaws only come out at night, and usually I only see my ripsaw during feeding or when it's being chased out of its cave by the black wolffish. But what I really love about the ripsaw catfish is that it has those scales that will cut other fish that try to bite them, and it can permanently disfigure other fish. I had a ripsaw cat that permanently disfigured a Ceratosaurus rhombus that my dad had owned, and that rhombus could not chew properly anymore. And I forgot to take the Niger cat out of the tank. I went to school, and then we found the rhombus with a disfigured mouth. So we had to move the Niger to my other tank. But really cool catfish, really cool, spooky monster cat, perfect for Halloween. Up next is the Polypterus, or the biker. And I've just did a recent episode of Monster Fish Month on Polypterus. So if you want to learn all about Polypterus, go to the Aquatic Wetline playlist on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, and you'll learn all about Polypterus. But my dear friend Daryl, he got me hooked on Polypterus because on our most recent trip to Aquatics and Exotics, he purchased an ornate biker, which is one of my favorite species. I like the Dalhousie biker, and I also like the Enlacheri biker, along with the albino Senegal biker. Those are all my favorite. These guys are ancient dinosaurs, and they're really cool fish to keep. And finally, my last favorite monster fish, the vulture catfish. I've got one of them. I had three, but I brought home two to my friend Daryl, and they're doing really well. The one I have now is putting on some girth, and he's growing a lot, which is amazing, which is what you want for a monster fish. What I love about the vulture cat is that it's a ferocious feeder. It will be one of the first fish in your aquarium to attack the food. The vulture cat loves market shrimp. It loves tilapia, earthworms, pellets. It eats anything that hits the water, including other fish. I have seen my vulture cat eat tiger barbs. So I know for a fact they will eat pretty much anything. They have that ferocious, monstrous attitude and appetite. So those are my top 10 favorite monster fish. What are your top 10 favorite monster fish? Let me know in the comments what your 10 favorite monster fish are. All right, right now we're going to go ahead and take a quick intermission. During this intermission, you're going to hear a word from our supporters. First up is Aquatic and Exotic, an amazing fish store in Stuart, Florida, that has angelfish, discus, goldfish, monster fish, and community freshwater fish, as well as saltwater fish and aquarium supplies. And then you're going to hear from Little Egypt Aquarium Club, which is an online aquarium supply store that provides Rapashi fish food and fine quality aquarium supplies. When we come back, I'm going to continue answering your questions. I'm going to talk about why water changes are important. We'll do a fish store stock list and a fish keeper show off where I'll show you my 75-gallon aquarium and my friend Daryl's amazing fish. So if you have any questions you want me to answer, post your questions in the comments and answer my questions in the comments as well during the intermission. I, Aqua Alex, will be right back after a word from our amazing supporters. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you a tropical fish keeper living in South Florida? You need to check out Aquatic and Exotic in Stuart, Florida. Aquatic and Exotic is home to quality freshwater and saltwater tropical fish. You will find African cichlids, South and Central American cichlids, goldfish and koi, and exotic fish. We also supply aquarium supplies like filters and heaters, aquariums, and lights. We also have quality fish food brands. Aquatic and Exotic is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Questions? Give us a call at 772-781-4046. Stop on by and check us out. 1525 A.C.E. Lockhart Street, Stuart, Florida 34994.
Aqua Alex here, and I'm proud to partner with Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Little Egypt Aquarium Club was founded by my friend Jeremy Stellhorn. Little Egypt Aquarium Club provides aquarium hobbyists with quality aquarium supplies. You will find sponge filters, pleco caves, and so much more. Little Egypt Aquarium Club also has quality fish foods. You'll find things like rapashi. Rapashi is a name brand fish food perfect for placostomus, community fish, and even monster fish. You'll find medicated fish foods as well. Aqua Alex and Jeremy Stellhorn are teaming up to save you some money. If you use my discount code, which is Alex, you will get 10% off your order. So go to littleegyptaquariumclub.com right now, place an order, and use coupon code Alex, and you will save 10% on your order. Now back to the fish chat. Welcome back to Ask Aqua Alex Live, October 2022. If you have any fish keeping questions, feel free to post them in the comments and I will be sure to answer them. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay of this video, I will make sure to answer your questions. Also, feel free to answer my questions. And again, my questions are: what are your favorite monster fish species? What treats will you give your fish for Halloween? And what are your favorite piranha species? Now that we're back from intermission, let's get right back into answering some great questions and, of course, our topic. I've got two more questions that were emailed to me that I'm going to go ahead and answer. So, the next question actually came from a YouTube video that I uploaded. And for some reason, this question was filtered as spam by YouTube, and I never saw it. So the person that wrote this question probably never got my answer, but I'm going to answer it tonight, right here, right now, on Ask Aqua Alex Live. Anyway, the question is: what made you want to set up a community aquarium? And that answer is really simple. I've always wanted a community aquarium, but I was limited to just one aquarium. My mom only limited me to one aquarium, which was the 125-gallon aquarium. And in the 125-gallon aquarium, I thought that it would be better to have predatory fish. But then I got a 55-gallon aquarium that was donated to me, and my mom said I could set it up and keep fish in it. And that's where the thought of community tank came through my mind. Because as much as I love predatory fish, I do like a relaxing tank where the fish aren't constantly fighting. And that's why I wanted a community aquarium. So originally, my community aquarium was going to be angelfish and discus and some rummy-nosed tetra. But then I decided against that because I would need a larger aquarium for that. So what I ended up doing was tiger barbs, angelfish, Buenos Aires tetras, black skirt tetras, and some other tetra. And of course, the catfish that I have now that I'm growing out, which are the sun cats and the upside down cat, which will be upgraded to the 125. Once the sun cat and the Asian upside down cat are moved to the 125, I'll get some Corydoras cats, probably the stir-by cories or the panda cories, as well as the brocious cory cats. I'm also growing out 3 threadfin acaras and 3 Geophagus abalis that will also, when they're mature enough and they're large enough, they will also go into 125 as well. So ideally, my 75-gallon community aquarium will have angelfish, it will have hatchetfish, it will have tetras, and Corydoras catfish. And finally, the last question that was submitted to me this month, what are my favorite tetras? My favorite tetras would be the Cardinal tetra, Rummy Nose tetra, Black Skirt tetra, Serpay tetra, Hatchetfish, Silver Dollars, Piranhas, Flagtail Procelotus, and many others. So to put it frankly, I love a lot of tetras. So those are the questions that were submitted to me this month, and I want to thank everyone that took the time to submit some questions to me. I really enjoyed answering your questions. So if you're watching us live, feel free to post some questions in the comments, and I would love to answer your questions. Let's get to my final topic for this month's edition of Ask Aqua Alex Live. And now I want to talk about why are water changes important? This is a really good question and a really important topic to know about the aquarium hobby. So I did some research and I'm going to explain to you what I found in my research. Why are water changes important? Aquarium water changes are essential for optimal fish health as well as avoiding cloudy, toxic water. By removing dirty aquarium water from your fish tank and replacing it with clean and fresh water, you are essentially diluting excess nutrients that can negatively impact your fish tank environment. It is important to always replace trace elements that contribute to a healthy and beautiful underwater environment for your tank inhabitants. Routine water changes have always been a basic aspect of aquarium maintenance. However, with the development of efficient filtration systems and versatile chemical filter media, the emphasis once placed on routine water changes has waned, but we should still be doing routine water changes. Further encouraging lax practices is the prevailing perceptions of water changes being laborious and time consuming. Aquarium filtration helps extend water quality and slows down the buildup of harmful chemicals. However, filtration alone is not capable of completely offsetting the effects of declining water quality. You must do water changes. Now you can do one water change a week or two water changes a week or even a water change a month. It really depends on how heavily stocked your aquarium is and how you feed your fish. But water changes must be done and they must be done frequently. I always tell people if you want happy, healthy fish, start with a good quality diet, feed them quality foods, but also make sure that you are doing water changes and having the water be as pristine and quality as it can be. In my experience, in my 125, I overfed, and I thought that because I had two canister filters and two hang on the back filters that would be enough. But when you put a lot of pellets in there that the fish don't eat, they waste away and that dilutes the water. So that's why water changes are important. They take out all the bad stuff and it adds new trace elements that help your fish grow. One thing that I learned the other day from a fish keeper that I talked to on Facebook, he's a cichlid breeder. He breeds chocolate cichlids, he breeds waru, he breeds severums, he breeds Central American cichlids. And he said, you know, cichlids, they really need water changes, especially at a juvenile stage. The smaller the cichlid, the more frequent your water change should be because cichlids release a chemical into the water that can harm other cichlids nearby and possibly other tropical fish as well. So when we do water changes, especially with cichlids, and we're adding new fresh water and new elements, that is helping the cichlids grow. So that is an example of why water changes are important. Also, water changes are important because they maintain balance. The basic dynamic that affects water quality is the ongoing cycle of chemical import and export, which is addition and removal. Whether through feeding, supplementation, or natural metabolical processes, various chemicals are constantly being introduced in the aquarium. While certain chemicals are imported into the water column, others are biologically processed or exported through filtration. When the import and export of these chemicals reach a state of equilibrium, the aquarium system is balanced and tends to have good water quality. Aquariums are closed systems where concentrations of imported chemicals and nutrients steadily acclimate over time. It is not uncommon for the import of chemicals to exceed an aquarium's ability to export them. So the distinct benefits of water changes include reduction of nitrogenous pollutants, the reduction of nitrogenous pollutants, which would be ammonia, nitrate, and nitrate, which are nitrogen compounds harmful to fish. So by doing water changes, we are removing those harmful compounds, which would be ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. Biological filtration processes ammonia, converting it to nitrite, and finally into nitrate. Most aquarium systems lack the ideal conditions to efficiently process nitrate. As a result, nitrate acclimation is extremely common in both freshwater and saltwater aquariums. While fish are more tolerant of nitrate, high nitrate levels place chronic stress on them. So when we do water changes, we are reducing that. Another benefit of water changes is the removal of decomposing organic waste material. This could be leftover fish food or dead or decaying fish that we might not find hidden away in decor. So by doing water changes, it is the routine removal of decaying organics, and it is very important. As organic waste breaks down, they release nitrogenous products, phosphate, and other chemicals that can lead to poor water quality. And finally, it is improved water clarity. The more water changes you do, the clearer your water will be. And that, my friends, is why water changes are very important. And that's why I try to do at least 2 a week on my community and my predatory aquarium. So we have a live question that comes from one of my frequent viewers, and Juan wants to know, hi Alex, how many gallons is best for piranhas? And what is the best environment and filtration? Thank you. So for piranhas, I would start with a 55 gallon or a 75 gallon because most piranhas grow really large. The red belly piranha, for example, will grow to about 8-9 inches, and they need to be kept in schools because if you keep a red belly piranha singly, it will stress out. So if you could do a 75 gallon or larger, you would do great. You can probably fit about 4, 5, maybe 6 red belly piranhas in a 90-gallon aquarium. And as you go larger than a 90-gallon, you can obviously get more. For the environment for a piranha aquarium, it could be whatever your heart desires. I've kept Caribe piranhas in aquariums that were bare bottom with driftwood and plastic plants. And then I've kept red belly piranhas in an aquarium that had gravel and rock structure. So it basically is up to you. But in their natural environment, they have driftwood and plants. And I find that Pygocentrus species of piranha really appreciate structures that they can hide in, like driftwood or plastic plants. And for filtration, I recommend canisters or real quality, powerful hang on the back filters like the C.E ones. I forgot the name of those C.E filters. C.E tidal filters are the best hang on the back filters on the market. So thank you, Juan, for that great piranha question. I definitely recommend getting piranhas if you've never kept them before. They're interesting, intriguing fish to keep. Just be forewarned, though, that they're not the monsters that the movies make them out to be, but they're still a fun fish to watch eat. The way they team up and attack their food, it is very rewarding. So thank you so much for that question. So now we're going to do an online fish store stock list review, and I'm going to share my screen in a moment. I'm going to do a new fish store that I've never done on my Fish Keepers Q&A, and I recently did an order with them. They have great customer service and great fish. My Geophagus abalis are doing great. My clown loaches that I got from them, the 3 of them are doing great. I also got some red-tail botia loaches that are doing great. So all the fish that I got from them are doing well, even though the package was delayed and it did cause some stress. But I do highly recommend Wet Spot Tropical Fish. So let me get the websites up, and then we'll take a look at their stock list. So they're up and running now. So let me share my screen here. Let's see. Share screen. There we go. All right. So now my screen should be sharing. Let me just make sure it's on. There we go. So we're going to go to Wet Spot Tropical Fish, and we're going to see what new fish they got for the month. So let's check it out. They got dwarf chain loaches, which are pretty cool. Electric blue acaras, which are an amazing fish. Some cool African cichlids. Some bettas, which are cool. You have to show respect for bettas. They're an amazing fish. There's a lot of bettas that are new this week. There's some new goldfish, which are pretty cool. They have pretty much everything at Wet Spot Tropical Fish. New snails. If I were to get a snail, my loaches would gladly devour it. Frontosa, which are very cool. A cool species of Corydoras, Wet Spot has. Green Texas cichlid, very nice cichlid. Boenus aries tetra, very nice as well. Some more African cichlids. Leporhinus, 8-spotted Leporhinus, clown-spotted Leporhinus. Very cool dither fish for predatory aquariums. Zebra eel is an interesting fish. Black Emperor tetra. Some more Africans and some discus. The Petricola dwarf Cenodontis they have. Pearl gouramis are very nice, and I actually have a school of pearl gouramis, which you'll see later on in a few moments here. So that's the Wet Spot Tropical Fish stock list. Now let's go over to Tangled Up in Cichlids.com. And I know that he updated his stock list today with some cool finds. So let's see what they have to offer, what Kevin has to offer. Cuban cichlids are very cool. The red tiger motaguense, very cool. Central American cichlid, very cool. Firemouth here. This is a very beautiful one. It belongs to the same species that firemouth are. Look how cool that is. That's a very beautiful fish, if you ask my opinion. And there are some cool viajas. Very cool. And then we go down to the South American cichlids. We've got the threadfin acaras, which I'm growing out 3 of them. We have some beautiful acaras, which are cool. There's a new Oscar species that he has. Very, very cool. I love growing out Oscars, so this may be something that I would consider getting. Astronautus Mike Lajai. Very cool Oscar, very beautiful. Let's see, the basket mouth cichlid. Very cool predatory South American cichlid. You don't see them too often. That would be one that I would love to get for my 125, but it would have to be decent sized. So that's cool. Cool peacock bass, pike cichlids, geophagus, severums. He's got the beautiful mouth brooding severums. Very, very cool at great prices, as always. And for those that like umbies, he has umbies in stock. They're way, way too aggressive for me, though, so I would never keep them. True Red Terror. And this is a species of Mesohirus that I've never heard of before, but they are a very beautiful fish. Look at the colorations of this Mesohirus. I definitely would love to get one of them eventually. Rams, Altum Angels, which are very, very cool, but they can be kind of difficult to keep. Ooh, this is interesting to me, the Santa Perca. I've never seen them. He says they're gold body, covered in iridescent green spangles. Let's see what they look like. Oh, so they kind of look like the Santa Perca Leacustica. So that's pretty cool. And Walroo. Walroo are very beautiful fish. So for Cherisons, pink-tailed Chalceus, yellow Chalceus, spotted silver dollars, black bar, red hooks, flagtails, my favorite. Last year at this time, I picked up about 3 or 4 of them. I might get my flagtail some buddies because he's kind of lonely, and I kind of miss my other flagtails. Very, very cool. Those are pretty cool Cherisons, the flagtail. Prussia Lotus. The dolphin cat is back. Those are very beautiful catfish. They're rare too, and they're kind of peaceful, which is nice. So that is back in stock. Very cool. So let's see what else is there. A lot of Corydoras, Corydoras sturbi, Pimelotus pictus are back, which are great. Rhinodorus gallergai, I've never seen them. Very nice. Very cool catfish. And then, of course, there's a Synodontis decorus that are very cool. And, of course, lots and lots of plecos. So you can find either stock list by going to wetspot.tropicalfish.com or tangledupincichlids.com, and you'll find all those amazing stock lists that I just went over with you. All right, well, it's time for our final segment, our main event for this month's Fish Keepers Q&A, and that is the Fish Keepers Show-Off. I'm going to show off my 75-gallon aquarium, and then I'm going to show off some fish from my friend Daryl. Now, I've got some images that I took of my 75 and the fish that are in there, so let me show you them. So here is the Fish Keeper Show-Off for October 2022 here on Ask Aqua Alex Live, my Fish Keepers Q&A. So up first we have my Green Terror. Look at the coloration of my Green Terror. That is a very beautiful fish. And my Green Terror, he's kind of a bastard though. He's kind of mean, but hopefully he'll straighten out. Here's another image of my Green Terror. I love the coloration of my Green Terror. Here is my blue opaline gourami. For some reason, I've taken an interest in gouramis. I've got 5 pearls and a blue opaline. The pearl gourami are very beautiful, though. Here is one of my Geophagus abalis. They have put on some great size. And then in this image, we have 2 more of my 3 Geophagus abalis. Very, very cool. Here is my threadfin acara, and you can see how big they are getting. They are doing really well in my care. And then the final threadfin acara picture that I took, and you'll see the tiger barbs, the albino tiger barbs, and the Buenos Aires tetras in there. So those are the photos that I took. I do have a video that I'm going to show off right now for the Fish Keepers show off. Enjoy the video of my 75-gallon aquarium.
All right, hold on.
All right, so that was an amazing video of my 75-gallon aquarium. And like I said, I added 2 new angelfish in a large yo-yo loach. So there will be an updated video coming up really soon here, sometime this week on my YouTube channel. Now it's time to see some of my friend Daryl's gorgeous fish. And I'm going to show off his amazing Oronite biker that he got from aquatic and exotic on our last trip. This is the ornate biker that my friend Daryl got, and look how beautiful it is. Juvenile ornate bikers are amazing. I love ornate bikers, so kudos to Daryl for having and raising an amazing ornate biker. So now we're going to see some videos of Daryl's fish. I've got two videos that I'm going to play and enjoy them. So here is the first video of Daryl's aquarium. So here you'll see some vulture cats, the vulture cats that I gave him, his red tail cat, and the red hooks that I gave him, and some other amazing fish. And then here is another video of his fish. This is his biker and his eel that are pretty cool. So here you'll see his tire track eel and the juvenile oronite biker. Both of those fish he got from Aquatic and Exotic in Stuart, Florida. So there was one more video that I wanted to show. Let's see if I can get it on here. It was his large red tail. I don't think it uploaded. Let's see. It was his large red tail cat. Since it is Monster Fish Month, Halloween, we got to show a large red tail. So this is Daryl's large red tail cat and this other monster fish in his 150-gallon aquarium. Check it out. As always, Daryl's fish look happy and healthy, and they are very, very amazing. So Jimmy wants to know, what is the scariest fish? Uh, that's a tough one. Probably stingrays or the electric eel, in my opinion, would be a very scary fish. So that's a great question. Thank you so much for tuning in and asking that amazing question. All right, I would like to thank everybody that watched today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all my answers to your questions, and I hope you enjoyed all my wonderful tropical fish keeping topics. Special thanks to Daryl for letting me show off his amazing fish. Special thanks to all the Facebook fish groups that allowed me to promote my video for today. So thank you to all the true OG fish groups that allow me to share my passion for the aquarium hobby. And a special thanks to everyone that watched today's video. Thank you, fish keepers. Have a great Halloween. I hope you enjoy the rest of October, and I hope you enjoy the aquarium hobby. So next month, we're going to do our Fish Keepers Q&A on Black Friday. So start submitting your questions for the November 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A. That will air on November 25th. I really appreciate if you email your questions to alexgoyankiescardinale19@gmail.com. I enjoyed you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your night or day whenever you're watching this video. Happy fish keeping, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed already, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Tank on, fish keepers, and happy fish keeping. It's Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale, and I am hosting the Halloween 2022 Bash. I'm inviting all of you, all you scary ghost, goblins, and monsters to be a part of the Halloween 2022 bash hosted by me, Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale. On the Halloween bash this year, there will be appearances from Chef Alex and Aqua Alex Cardinale. What cooking recipes will Chef Alex give out? What monster fish will Aqua Alex talk about on the Halloween bash? There will also be Halloween discussion and scary stories with crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale. Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale will also discuss his favorite cat, tigers, and tiger attacks on humans. So it's going to be a fun Halloween bash this year, filled with Halloween stories and a lot of Halloween fun. The Halloween 2022 bash airs live Halloween night, Monday, October 31st, 2022, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, only on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. Happy Halloween, everybody, and I will see you Halloween night, Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale. It's going to be great.